slept with Sheena. And so it was literally Beverly Hills Housewives for whatever hour. And then they walked into another part of it. And then all of a sudden you knew because it was Brandy and Lisa. And then you're like, oh shit, this is Vanderpump Rules. I agree. I think nothing matters more than the casting. Period. The end. Yeah, you're going to listen. When I interviewed some of the Real Housewives of New York in the beginning, I was saying things like, who's the Ramona? Who's the Jules Air? And I'm not saying that anymore. Like we've moved on. So it is yes, I think it has to be cast right, and you will compare them in the first two episodes. But then, yes, you will look. We don't have the other thing, so there's nothing. You can't say which one you like better. I actually think it makes sense that the other show is not coming back at all. I mean, now, could you imagine if it was coming back now? What would they do with James Kennedy, who you mentioned? Like, some now Allie has already spoken out and said, oh, it's a big misunderstanding and this and that. But I mean, there's a police report that I just saw like the other day that says that she said that he picked her up and threw her down.
Right.
So I don't know. Like, imagine if this were filming now, would James be canceled? I mean, he has lost certain DJ gigs already. I mean, yes, this gets into a whole bigger discussion. We'll have to do a whole show on like cancel culture and like what really happened. And I don't know. And are you innocent until proven guilty? But I don't know. This would affect the new season, which they didn't even want to have to begin with.
You
So, I mean,
definitely lose the benefit of the doubt when it's post Kristen, post Rachel. Like, you know, if it's the first time, you go, gosh, well, maybe they were playing sumo. Who the hell knows? But it's like, it's gonna be hard to find people defending that. And with Allie, it's like a lot of people have been in those situations where you defend your man and you hope that he's going to change, or you hope that this wasn't as serious as it was, and you can be sober and still be a dry drunk or have your issues. And we've seen it play out. The guy's got issues. Like the guy doesn't know how to, and they obviously cast people on the show that are going to be disruptive, but that leads to terrible relationships. Now, when it comes down to the previous cast versus a new cast, I look at it this way. Whenever you have like a pro athlete sign $100 million deal, it's very rare that they actually are good after that because they got the deal. They're like, you can coast a little bit. Vanderpump, the new cast, will probably have incentives, whether they're spoken or not, to bring the heat. And if you don't bring the heat, the show doesn't do well. And this is the same thing with Bachelor, where they go, you want to make it on a Paradise or not? You need to go in there and tell off that other person, or we're going to cast somebody else. So it's kind of like the platform and the snow globe of these shows creates that drama by knowing there's a desire to stay in that headline and to put gas on the fire. So I think a new cast is more likely to do that. And I think it actually is kind of funny to this old cast because it's like, look, you guys, you didn't want to be there. You all made it look like it was a chore. So fuck off, you know?
yeah. And yes, the only thing with what you're saying is like, I just hope like you got to be good at it, right? Because if we really feel that you're now there and you were just off camera with a producer and now like you're told you're going to stir it, like that's where people are going to, but look, we all
Totally.
fall for it, right? But like you just got to be so subtle about it, right? Like the minute you're the one that's trying to like people are criticizing Dorit on Beverly Hills this year. I think it's all authentic, but there's a lot of people that are like, oh God, she's having a breakout season and it's too much. So it's like, I just hope that there's no way these people are working at SUR. Let's just be honest. They probably applied for a job. They're wanting to be on the show one day, hoping. So it's just like, I just hope they're like, don't be too Hollywood, too. Like, you want this, just be subtle, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah, I mean yeah, LA, West Hollywood, the people that moved there, it's already you could probably turn your head in any direction and find 10 people and have a hit show. So it's like there's always a replacement for this debauchery if they find the right person. But like, when you look back at this last season, La La, like I read the comment sections of people. I always like to just see what people are saying. There's a lot of hate for like La La, and obviously Ariana and her had this big falling out because of what she said on camera. But it's like in my mind, I'm like looking this from the outside in. I'm like, Lala is a pillar holding up the show with her crazy drama. She says things that yeah, you could hate her, but like it keeps the show driving in that direction. Ariana and God bless her, was so hurt from this breakup that like she's got better things to worry about, so she no longer needs to live in that cesspool. But when you see someone like Lala, when you see Sheena jealous of Ariana, it's like, yeah, I get it. They still very much need Vanderpump, or at least like it's very important to them. Where Ariana's like, it's like if you win the lottery, like how important is podcasting to me? Well, if I win the lottery, probably not that important, but I love my job right now. So priorities change and people grow out of the need for being in that sort of mud pit.
Well, how much are you going to win in the lottery? If I was going to win $1 million, I would still be here doing this job. If I was going to
Yeah.
win 100 million, yeah, you may not hear from me anymore.
Yeah.
I still love this job today, but $100 million, I would probably do one last episode and wrap it all up.
Oh, no, if I win the like big lottery, just doing stand-up comedy. Just gonna go do comedy and maybe I'll hire someone to do all the things I don't want to do. Go fold my laundry. But
I was just
but
going to say, I'm going to hire someone to put out old episodes of this podcast and just put out a new episode every day for the next 5 years. And we could just do repeats. And
now if I don't win the lottery, but my channel gets to the level where I have like a team around me, I'll show up every day for 1 hour and then someone else can clip it up and do the thumbnail thing. I'll just show up, be a rock star, lights on, and get out.
I
Like
mean,
there's
that's the ideal. Yes.
yeah.
In other words, you'll just be talent, which is what would be
Right.
so nice.
I'll turn into those characters where they've got their Ugg boots and they're waiting, in hair and makeup for their reunion episode. Like I'll turn into that in 2 seconds. I'll be so obnoxious.
That will be, but I mean, also you think about it like this whole recast, think about it like Lisa Vanderpump. I mean, it's probably great for Lisa Vanderpump. I mean, she's been doing some interviews and she says, look, it's not my decision, but I think it's good. And these people, there was nowhere to go. Think about it like, okay, so Housewives started at 60,000. Back in the day, the first season of Vanderpump, I forgot if they made like 5, 10, or 15,000. It was one of those. I can't remember. Let's just call it 20,000. Okay. We're going to have 7 cast members at $20,000. This whole show, other than Lisa, will cost $140,000 in salary. It can bump someone up, 150,000. I mean, rumor is Ariana wanted 600,000. If she wanted that, I guarantee you Tom wanted that. And now you have like all the others, James and Lala, they were making a couple 100,000. So like I'm sure Lisa Vanderpump is getting a raise from this. Like, hey, we have all this extra money over here. You want an extra 100 grand? Sure, why not? Like, it works well for her, right? These kids who are literally waiting tables and starving to death, or not, maybe not starving to death. They're not doing so well. I mean, they're not living the high life. They'll take 20 grand to be on a hit TV show that did for
Totally.
Stassi what they did. So this whole thing will be 150 grand in salaries versus well over 1 million. Yeah, we'll give Lisa some extra money. Why not? I mean, she is a
And
producer.
yeah, of course. And by the way, when money talks, when you're friends, the TV show, you can get $1 million an episode a person. Because that show was irreplaceable. Jersey Shore, they negotiated some insane deals because they got to a place where like they were so beloved and irreplaceable. Vanderpump, in the end, if they wanted to keep them together, they would have put the money to like Ariana, just like Chriselle on Selling Sunset. She goes, "I'm not coming back." She came back. There, you will come back for the right price. It's basic economics. They couldn't hit that price, and they realized, you know what? Not worth it. And it reminds me of like I watch these gold mining shows where they spend $1 million to go up to the Yukon to go to these random gold mines, and then they put all the money into the oil for the machines, and then they dig through all the dirt, and then they find a certain amount of gold, and eventually they have to make a judgment call like, did I find all of the gold? Is there any gold left? And that's where Vanderpump got after 10 years. Like, is there any gold left? They shook this thing dry. Are we going to get better than Scandival? Let's move the gold mining operation somewhere else because we know that there are gold